Hello everyone, I'm Skratch. Welcome to the channel. This is another Raid Shadow Legends video. Hope you guys are having an amazing day. In today's video, guys, we're gonna bring in a champion that I really underestimated for a very long time, and I've kind of like rediscovered the love for him during the Hydra Creator Clash. Now, I've mentioned I'm gonna do a dedicated video on this champion because he really deserves a proper spotlight and he really deserves people to know what he's capable to do. The champion that I'm talking about, guys, is no one else but Lord var-gall. He was a previous fusion like a while ago. It's been a while since he's been a fusion, actually. And since then, he got a bit of a buff. At the beginning, he wasn't that amazing, but he's one of the tankiest champions in the entire game, hands down. Very tanky all around. And he can do some pretty serious work when we are talking about Hydra Clan Boss and just generally as a tank, man. Like, look, 27k HP, 1.3k defense, 107 speed, 90 resistance, 70 accuracy. Like, what else you want to get from a champion? It's just crazy what good base stats he has all around. With the A1, attacks one enemy 2 times. Each hit fills this champion's turn meter by 5%. Has a 30% chance to repeat this skill. Places a 100% heal reduction debuff on the target for 2 turns if this skill is repeated. Now, if I'm right here, is him, Fushan, and Georgid the champions that can actually go berserk with this skill? You know, I don't think there's any other champion in the game that can do it except these 3, but I might be wrong on it, so correct me if I'm wrong. But this skill can go berserk and reuse this skill like 100 times. It really depends on the RNG. With the A2, Skull Claim on a 2-turn cooldown, ladies and gentlemen. Places a 25% strengthen buff on this champion for 2 turns. Has a 100% chance fully booked of placing a provoke debuff on a target for 1 turn. Not only that this makes him one of the best mischief targets in the entire game, but it makes him amazing against the Head of Decay because you get to provoke it on a 2-turn cooldown while you're controlling the Head of Mischief. You're getting so much control out of Lord var-gall. It's just crazy. And if that was not enough, the A3 Abyssal Clutch on a 3-turn cooldown attacks all enemies, 100% chance to land decreased attack debuff for 2 turns. Head of Rat, you wanted to do some damage on me, forget about it because I'm gonna bring you decreased attack as well. I'm gonna be the mischief target, I'm gonna control the Head of Decay, and you know why? Just because I can. Just because I can, and he's so freaking awesome. The first passive, Horrific Foe, when attacked, destroys the attacker's max HP by 5%, destroys the max HP of bosses by 2.5% instead, except the Scarab King, whose max HP will be destroyed by 0.5%. Cannot destroy a single enemy's max HP by more than 50%, occurs once per attack. And has a 50% chance of placing a True Fear debuff on targets whose max HP has been destroyed by 20% or more. And then the next passive, which is kind of like a partner thing, Skullbroad revives Skull Sworn with 50% HP and 50% turn meter at the start of each turn on a 1-turn cooldown. And of course, if there are multiple, only one will actually get revived. Skullsworn is a rare champion. You can farm him from campaign, I think stage 2, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember. It's been a while since I actually paid attention to that. So we're gonna take him in for a spin in Hydra, guys. He's absolutely amazing. We got the accuracy on, we got the resistance, and the rest, speed, whatever other stats we can get on, of course, they're gonna be more than welcome. His damage is based on defense, so if you want to give him a bit of crit rate, some defense, he's gonna get to do a bit of extra damage in there. Of course, you can run him, for example, on a Guardian set, and that will bring in some damage reduction. Considering that he's so tanky, you really don't have to worry about anything with him in the team, you know. Total stats, we have 88k HP, 3.5k defense, 268 speed, 480 resistance, 368 accuracy. Now, these stats will be enough for Brutal in terms of resistance. For a Nightmare, we need slightly higher resistance, but everything else is perfectly fine for Nightmare 2 in terms of stats, speed, survivability, accuracy. Will do just amazing. I do have a Blood Shield accessory on him just for when we don't have all the buffs on. Somebody else might equal my buffs on Lord var-gall if I'm running Duchess in the team. So having a Blood Shield accessory on him will to kind of like ensure that I get to bring an extra buff every now and then. Of course, it's not a necessity to have a Blood Shield accessory on. I just put it on because I'm running Duchess in the team, so it's just helping me to kind of like keep the Head of Mischief under control much better. If you are using Lydia with him in the same team, he won't be the Mischief target because she's gonna bring strength to your entire team. If we are talking about a blessing, most probably you wanna look at Brimstone as an idea. You can look at Cruelty if you don't have any other champion with AoE on the A1 to use it. Then he can do some work with that as well. There are not many other blessings that are really giving him a massive advantage. If you're struggling with resistance, Lightning Cage on a higher star level can help you out. So there are a few options. Masteries, we went with offense and support. We have War Master as tier 6. We went with the accuracy, Cycle of Magic, and all the way down to Master Hexer to help us with decreased attack. But that's pretty much everything for Skull Lord var-gall. Let's take him in for a spinning Hydra and see what exactly we can do with the champion. So we're gonna try him on this team, guys. We have Cardiel, Ugo, Sifi, Taras. We have a Husk. You kind of need to bring in a second champion for provokes, just in case if you're gonna get resisted, if you're not gonna overlap the heads. In this case, we should be fine because usually you should make your Mischief target like the slowest champion. For us, he's not the slowest champion at the moment, just because we are trying to keep that provoke up with him as much as possible too. So the Mischief head might go crazy a bit every now and then, but hopefully not too much, you know. So hopefully it's gonna stay control. But basically, we're gonna put our buffs up. Let's actually go in and do an ally attack. Maybe we're gonna land the provoke with Husk instead this time around. Okay, so we actually managed to land it, which is fine. Block buffs on everyone. Ugo will get resisted every now and then. So one thing that I do like about Skull Lord var-gall is that if the head of Blight will put a Toxic Cloud on, and we don't have block buffs on the Head of Decay, for example, because we got a weak hit with Ugo, you're not going to be able to provoke him when you hit him, right? So you need a champion that provokes without hitting the target. Kind of like a similar thing that War Chief does, or how Geomancer uses his HP burn, and Skull Lord var-gall does the same thing. You're still going to be able to provoke the Head of Decay, because that's the main issue for most of the people. The head of you have the debuffs on the rest, and then you don't provoke the head of Decay because you got resisted or weak hits, and what's gonna happen is gonna cleanse all the rest of the heads, and that's gonna go on pretty wrong, right? So that's one thing to keep in mind, you know. That's a good thing basically. So right now we have more buffs on him than on anyone else. The rest are with 5 buffs. He is with 6 buffs at the moment. So the Head of Mischief trying to get it. Not gonna happen. Plus we're getting a strong hit in there. Right now we can actually provoke. Stay safe. We added an extra buff on. Before I had a Blood Shield accessory doing some work for me. But now we actually buffed with the A2. So we're gonna have 1 extra buff compared to anyone else in here, you know. 5 buffs. 5, 5, 5, 6. So that's gonna be a good thing to have. There we go. Even if we get attacked, because it's not the Blood Shield that actually puts the extra buff on, we're gonna be more than fine at the moment, you know. So let's do that. You see, we got the extra buff. Right now, Taras was a bit left behind by the looks of it with the Head of Mischief. So if I would make Skull Lord var-gall the slowest in the team, this will never actually happen, you know. Plus, the team is all over the place. Like, some of the champions, they have, like, really crazy speeds right now. Again, coming with the provoke. I do want to keep that provoke on. I feel like having the provoke on is going to be more important than dealing with the Head of Mischief 100%, because we have block buffs, you know. So, nothing wrong can happen there. But if the cleanse comes in, a lot of things can go wrong. So, I do think it's more important, in my opinion, to have that spot on, you know. There we go. Let's start to drop in some more damage here. Put that defense down on. Let's get some more turn meter on. That's always good, right? Decrease attack, beautiful. Got the Blood Shield on. That got broken, which is fine. Head of Mischief is pretty fast too, so you know how it goes. Right now, Sifi actually has more buffs, if by any chance she's not gonna take a turn before, but seems like she is. And that leaves Skull Lord var-gall again with more buffs than anyone else. Let's try to land the cheeky provoke just in case. Head of Mischief. He actually 3%ed us. That's actually nasty. We got 3% there because we have almost 500 resistance, man. This 3% is literally the worst thing in the game. I've said it so many times, and I'm gonna say it till I go crazy. Like, it's just so freaking annoying to have that thing in the game. Now you see, because I'm not gonna buff. Actually, I will buff just on time to have that extra buff because before we just actually managed to get a bit wrecked there. So we do have less buffs on him because we extended with Taras after we got buffed. So if I'll fix a bit the speeds here as well, just to make it more friendly for the Head of Mischief, basically, we will have no problem at all with that. But in the meantime, we're gonna keep everyone else controlled with the provoke. We're gonna keep that decrease attack on, which of course is gonna be great too. How I mentioned, usually I'm not stressing that much with the Head of Mischief if I have block buffs, because it's not really a big deal, you know. The main thing that you really want to control is the Head of Decay. That's the real problem in Hydra. The biggest threat. And I do have provoke right now. I'm gonna save it, just going with the A1. I was having lots of buffs on there, but then we got the turn too fast. Not a problem. Not a problem whatsoever. He's still very, very solid. I like him a lot, and I'm definitely gonna put him in one of my teams most probably, just for the fun of it. You know, I do have double Krisk, so having all these OP champions a lot of times kind of like make you don't want to use other champions. You know, so when you are in that spot, you're like, okay, is there any point for me to bother with other champions? Now, really, right? So let's just use Krisk. Let's use Akrisia if we have them available. No point to look at the champions that can do a lot of work, but there's no point to use them for us because we have all the OP stuff, you know. So that definitely makes a difference. You see, right now we have no block buffs. He tried to steal the buffs from Skull or var-gall. It didn't happen, so that came in perfect. Just to show it as an idea how important it is to have that control when you don't have block buffs, you know. And again, let's buff that on. We want to kill that Head of Decay as fast as possible too, and then we're gonna deal with the Head of Mischief. Right now we have 4 buffs on him. Actually, it seems like my Husk has 4 as well, so I'm gonna try to do that as well, just to try to bring it on a plain field, put the block buffs on, and let's try to get a Head of Mischief down if we can, of course. We only managed 1 hit, and that was from Husk. The damage went exactly to Skull or var-gall from the Mischief, so that's beautiful. We managed to get that back on track. I don't really have it speed tuned for it, you know, like, I'm gonna admit it, I haven't really speed tuned the team just for Skull or var-gall. I do need to make him the slowest champion in the team if I want him to be the perfect Mischief target, but it's just kind of like giving you guys an idea of how many things you can actually do with a champion like him, like decrease attack, provoke, Mischief target, like so many different things, you know. I feel like it's definitely a pretty big thing, you know, to be able to do all that with him there. So I'm praying to be able to land that defense down with Ugo before and get a nuke in with Taras, but seems like it might not happen actually. The heads might actually come back on track before we're able to do it. And maybe an ally attack from Cardiel. Come on, Cardiel. Okay, 1 head is back. We still have 2 down, and no A3 from Taras. Okay, so forget about it. It's not gonna happen this round. We're gonna have to go in for the next one. But even better, I'm just gonna let it go on auto. Actually, I'm just gonna let it go on auto. The provoke won't be directed to the right head all the time, so you might have to kind of like select the heads when that happens. You gotta keep an eye on it. This team should be more than capable of doing auto without a problem on pretty much any difficulty. Now the Head of the Torment is out. That's when it gets a bit more risky, but we do have 2 cleansers in the team, plus we have Sifi with her passive, so that's very, very helpful. Beautiful, we managed to do that as well, and slowly we're gonna deal with the rest. I'm not gonna leave the entire run in here, guys, because it might take quite a bit. We're only halfway through. I'm gonna fast forward at the end, and I'm gonna show you the results in there, guys. So here we are, guys. We are near the end. Perfect timing. turn 82 with one Kid Brutal without having any sort of issues whatsoever. You see the Head of Mischief came out, went straight for my Skull Lord var-gall, who told him, get out of here because I'm not giving you anything whatsoever. So it's pretty strong. If you are looking for a champion that does so many things, definitely look into him, because he's definitely a very powerful champion for Hydra Clan Boss. And how I mentioned, it's very easy to overlook champions when you have all the crazy champions in the game, because you're not really gonna look at using somebody else. You're gonna go for the most OP broken champions you have on your account and just do the content with that, because that's why you have them at the end of the day. But Skull Lord var-gall, guys, absolutely amazing. He managed to bring in 2 million damage. Cardiel, who is actually built for damage, he only did double than him, right? Cardiel deals a lot of damage, which is generally, okay? And look at his build. This is my Cardiel. So, pretty impressive. Like, he managed to bring in some damage. If you give him some crit rate, of course, if you have the gear strong enough to do that, you're gonna get some extra damage from him as well. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Definitely another champion that I underestimated, kind of like coming to my list. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Much love, appreciate all of you guys watching, and I'll catch you all soon in the next video. Peace.